Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. So we haven't had a good Saturday night special episode in quite a while, so I thought I had some enough footage here, some interesting things that I could put together for one of these episodes to share with you. A lot of different things happening in the shop here. So for those that may not be aware, the Saturday night special video series that I've had for nearly the life of my channel has always been a mixed format video. So some of those videos may be all machining, some may include some other things, including new tools. So it might be jobs, projects, new tools, new supplies in the shop, you know, just a mixture of different things. And that's what this video is going to be about this time. Is, you know, we've got different projects we've been working on. We've got a couple of jobs that's come through that I've worked on, and a lot of different things that's been happening. So this is a great time to kind of just compile a bunch of those different little projects into one video and share it with you guys, and hopefully you will enjoy. It always has been a long format video, so these are typically over 30 minutes. My videos usually try to run around 45 minutes. It's not that I purposely make them that long. It's just that's kind of how the video has always been, because of the amount of footage that I have to share with you. But a lot of people like that because they like to put on a video and let it run for a while. So we got a lot of interesting things to share with you. I've been pretty busy here in the shop, continuing working on the CNC machines whenever I have the opportunity to do more practice and more training. We actually recently got a job done over there in the Flex CNC. You guys have probably seen that by now. And I'm over here on the Milltronics doing some training over there again, learning more about the conversational controls over there. But in the meantime, in the process of this, you know, I've been playing around with my new Haimer equipment, the power clamp and the Uno micro set. So I believe I've got some footage there to share with you of working with those machines too, doing the heat shrinking of the tools and then putting the tools over in the micro set and doing the presetting. So measuring the tool length and measuring the tool diameter. Really interesting things, and I'm really enjoying learning how to do that kind of stuff. While I'm touching on that, it reminds me that some of the footage that you might see in the videos from time to time is going to be vertical only, taken from my phone. And the reason why you might see that sometimes is that when I'm doing different things around here, I like to capture some of those short format videos to share on our Instagram page and our ABOM79 Facebook page. And vertical works way better for those formats than landscape mode. So, and sometimes it's hard to capture both at the same time. So it might be some really cool footage that I want to share with you, but it's vertical only. And if I crop it, it zooms it in way tight and it kind of, you know, throws it out a little bit. So I just want you guys to be aware of that. Sometimes it's just footage because I'm sharing it over on the social pages, and then I'd like to be able to share it with you here on the YouTube videos as well. So I've got a couple things that I'm going to walk you around, show you a couple new things in the shop here. But as I said, we've got a couple of projects that we've been working on, a couple of jobs. I've got some jobs over here on the table. I'll show you some stuff that I'm going to be getting to here in the near future. And I do have some other jobs in there on the table. So we do have some more work that's been coming in that we're going to be getting to very soon. So let's walk around. I'm going to show you a couple things, but we got plenty of fun projects to share with you on this episode of Saturday Night Special. While we got you right here, I thought I would start with this. So I recently made a purchase of some new cutters for the CNC machines. These are all carbide cutters, with the exception of these center drills. I thought I ordered carbide, but they're high-speed steel. But anyway, I'm going to get some more 1/4 inch or number 3 carbide center drills. But I wanted to point these out. So this is the YG brand, and this come under recommendation of John Saunders at Saunders Machine Works. So he's been running the YG brand. I believe it's YG1, and they seem to be an economically priced cutter. So they're not the most expensive cutters out there on the market, and they're not cheap cutters either. Sort of middle of the road. So I thought I would go ahead and get a few to try. We've got some end mills here. These are some chamfer mills in a couple different sizes. Actually, I got 1/2, 3/8, and 1/4 inch chamfer mills. I've also got some mill drills as well. But we're going to be giving these guys a try. We'll go ahead and take a look at one right here. So this is the 1/2 inch chamfer mill. Looks pretty good. Looks like some good stuff there. So just wanted to point that out. Never run YG brand before, but we're going to give them a try with our cutters, with our CNC machines. So, you know, I'm slowly trying to build up a nice little inventory of cutters. You know, when you run these machines, you got to have all different size end mills, you know, chamfer mills, mill drills, just a lot of different things. So I wanted to go ahead and get a few of these things I needed and get them coming. So we'll be giving this YG brand a try on the machines and see how they do. So a few new things to talk about regarding the Flex CNC here. We'll go ahead and start by showing these. We got a couple different V blocks here. Now this V block, I've got the other one in the cabinet there. We'll talk about that in a minute. This was mine and my dad's, and I want to adapt these V blocks so that I can easily put them here on the Flex CNC and be able to use them for shaft work. But you know, you could set these on the rails and use some toe clamps or whatever, but I don't want to deal with that. What I want to do is actually design some adapter plates that these will bolt to, that will bolt to the rails here. So I want the adapter plates keyed so that they can I can set them down here on the bed rail and it lines up, and then have the V block to where it sits on the adapter plate. I'm going to drill some holes in these guys and have the V block where it sits on there. We'll probably have it doweled so that everything stays in perfect alignment and I don't have to indicate these things when I want to use them. But this is going to be an upcoming project that I want to work on. And same thing with, I got a pair of these V blocks as well. And these are fabricated V blocks made out of A36 steel plate, and were given to me by James Kilroy, you know, longtime YouTube friend there over in Mississippi. He gave me these things a long time ago whenever I bought that K&T mill from him. Apparently he wasn't using them, but I'd like to do the same thing. Since this is such a nice large V with a low profile, I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to build an adapter plate that these guys will bolt to, that we can easily just set over here on the Flex CNC bed and be able to utilize this. We'll have to make us some bars on here to be able to clamp work pieces down on. But anyway, a couple of upcoming projects I want to work on here. Also want to point out we've got a couple more Tico work holding machine vices on the Flex there. So we've got a total of 3 now. One of them, which was actually this guy, is the one that Tico gifted me whenever I visited them in Ohio and brought back. This is the one I've been using on the KBC mill. But I went ahead and purchased 2 more, so we've got that one there, and this one here as well. And I know that I need more vices on here to be able to hold longer work pieces. So I've actually already got an order in for 2 more of these Tico vices. Expected delivery is going to be sometime like late March. So I'll actually have 4 machine vices on the Flex dedicated to that. And hopefully that'll get us going there for a while. And I'll be able to put my other one of these back over here on the KBC mill. So also want to point out this guy right here. This is a T-slot table. This is like a new old stock item from Tombstone City. And they sent to me as a gift. I believe this is something that they had on their shelf that they had no need for. Maybe it was sitting there for a while and they weren't going to be able to sell it. So my contact there at Tombstone City, Matt, he messaged me and asked me, is this something that I would like to have to be able to use here on the Flex? So I accepted his offer and they sent it down, and there we go. We've got a nice like fixture plate that we can dedicate to the Flex, and I'm going to have to machine an adapter plate for this guy too. So this is going to be a nice Flex project. I'm going to have a nice big piece of steel plate flame cut, and we'll set it over here on the Flex machine and do all the machine work needed so that we can bolt this down to the plate and then have the plate where it bolts down to our rails there. You can see it's got mounting holes in here. These are on 200mm centers, both directions, but that's not going to line up with our bed rails here. So we got to make an adapter plate for that. So big thanks to Tombstone City for giving this to us to use. I think this is going to be a nice addition to the Flex CNC. So a couple more shop additions here are my new Lion heavy duty storage cabinets. We'll go over there and show you what I'm going to do with that one. I've got this one here as well. I ordered 2, and whenever these arrived, one of them was unfortunately damaged by the people shipping it, so I had to send it back. But this one This one I'm kind of using now. I wanted to be able to hang up like my welding shirts there. And of course I got my power tools in this. And I wanted a place to be able to put some basic welding supplies. So that's what this one's going to be used for. I'll do some reorganization, probably get rid of all the plastic cases and just put them up top out of the way. You know, usually you don't ever need the cases again, but so we got power tools, you know, I've got my Tabo, I got some DeWalt, and that's what I run there. So these are some really nice cabinets made by Lion Manufacturing. There's their tag right there on that. So we'll, while I was over here, I was going to mention this. So this is the spot that I've reserved. I'm going to buy a TIG welder and a MIG welder, and they're going to go right there. That's what the receptacle for there is for. So welders. So some of the last machines that I need to acquire for the shop is the welders. I still want to get a hydraulic press in here as well. Speaking of hydraulics, here's some work that I got right here in the shop. We got 3 hydraulic cylinders off of a Mahindra tractor that I got to work on. So this is something I'm going to be starting on very soon, getting these things pulled apart. They should be, it's probably just the seals because they're leaking. So it might be like the Kubota cylinders I've done where you just take them apart, reseal them. This one, the pin was stuck in there, so they had to cut it to get it out. So that'll have to be pressed out. So that's some stuff I'm going to be working on here real soon. We've also got this guy right here. This is just a small part that I got to make for somebody. But I want to show you the other cabinet here. So this is the other Lion cabinet that I had to, they had to send another one. Lion was really great about that. Whenever I received it and it was damaged, I contacted the, I can't remember the lady that I talked to, but I told her about it. So they sent it back and they sent a replacement right away. So this one is just the straight shelves. And they have a lot of different sizes of configurations, so this isn't the only thing, but this is a stock item that you can order. And they were offering free shipping whenever I bought these too. But this is going to be hardware storage for the Flex CNC and some other things that I need to put away too. But I've got some of my hold down hardware in here, and I've been bringing some of my tooling that I've had for years from the old shop that I've been holding on to. So we got like these toe clamps back here. This is some stuff that my dad had purchased years ago for us to use on the mills and the board mill that I've been hanging on to. So I've got some of those. We've got some of these guys right here, the right height style clamps. But in addition to that, we've got our studs, hold downs. We've got some bins back here that I've got some 3/4 hardware that I had purchased to use on the machines. And so I've got some of this back there. Bins full of hardware that I got at that auction a few years ago. A lot of this is 1/2 inch stuff right there. So some flange nuts, T-nuts, studs. This is some 5/8 that I brought from the shop because it's what I've been needing. I've got some stuff on order from Tico. This is just some flange nuts, but I got another one of these kits coming that's going to be 5/8. That's what this size here is, 5/8. 5/8 is going to be the general use size hardware that we use on the Flex here. So any chance I get, I'm going to be just using the 5/8 hardware for all of our hold downs. And I'm going to be getting all this organized in a much nicer fashion. I've got some plastic bins that I want to line in here and separate things, you know, by what it is. Like these are heavy duty washers, these are flange nuts, and we have our T-nuts and things like that. So just wanted to show you what I'll be using. I got a bunch of V-blocks down there. These are the extra V-blocks that I didn't show you. We got some smaller ones right there. So heavy duty storage right here is why I wanted to get these. This is just some of my scrapers up there that I got out of the way. So we'll be putting all of our nice heavy duty hardware in here. I'm going to continue to get this organized so that we can come over here and just easily reach in here and grab what we're wanting whenever we're trying to get some things set up on the machines. This is a real simple machining job that I just got in this morning. These belong to Joe over at the welding shop. A couple of rings that they burned out. They already punched the holes in it, and they need to be countersunk. And this is typically kind of stuff that that he does himself over there. But he says something's wrong with his drill press. It's broken down right now. Doesn't have time to go into it and fix it or figure out what's wrong with it. So he asked if I would get these countersunk for him. So nothing to it. Should be real simple. Couple of rings with some holes punched in. So we'll go over to the milling machine and get these guys lined up. Use an 82-degree countersink tool. We'll just set a depth on our quill and easily get these things countersunk for them. All right, we're setting this up over here on the KBC manual milling machine. Got our 82-degree countersink tool in there, and we'll just center up on one of those clean holes there. I'm going to establish the depth there with the column, and we'll use this stop on the quill to come down to once we set our depth. So I got a couple of the Linsky's adjustable toe clamps. This is ones, as you can see, Linsky's brand. These are some clamps. We got these in different sizes. Dad bought these years ago for us to use on the bore mill and the milling machines. So these are the smallest ones, and I got some other ones that are pretty big. So these will work out pretty good for this job. Go ahead and snug these down where that one's at there. And we'll see here. So what I want to do is get the depth set, and I'm just using the knee since I'm already down on the stop of the quill. That's basically our depth right there. Yeah, that's looking good right about there. So we've got our quill stop, so now we can just put our parts in there and just repeat that process. It's always the safest way to do this kind of simple drilling, countersinking ops like this is to make sure you have a clamp to hold it. Some people will try holding this stuff with their hand, and you can get away with it, but you can also hurt yourself pretty bad by trying to hold it with your hand. So it's just advisable to never hold a workpiece with your hand while you're trying to use a cutting tool with it. All right, for cutting fluid, we're going to use this Anchor lube today. This is some good stuff for a lot of different machining ops. You can check my Amazon affiliates page. I've got this stuff on there, and it's you can get it there if you'd like. But I do like using it for different things, and countersinking is a good op to use it on. Oh, come on, get out of there. All right, there's one. Loosen the clamp. Move it around here. We'll line it up with the next hole. Reset our clamps. Just like that. All right, we got our 2 rings finished up right there. Nothing too difficult about that. A very basic, simple machining op. Using the drill to center the hole there, that was definitely the way to go, and it worked out better after the first hole. So, like I said, just real basic, simple stuff. But maybe, you know, there was a couple little tips in there that might help somebody else whenever they're doing something like this. And the holes look great. That anchor lube does a good job, especially for stuff like this, you know, that big wide cut. And what I like about it is it doesn't make a huge mess on there. It is a water-based, so you can kind of clean it off real easily, so it doesn't get cutting oil all over the workpiece and make a big mess on the machine and everything. So anyway, that's finished up there. I'm going to go ahead and walk these over there to Joe so that he can go ahead and get this job finished out. I want to give you guys a little update on one of our shop improvement, shop update items here. So we finally have our ladder made. This was made by my buddy Joe over at the welding shop, and something that he was helping me with. And we finally got her done, or they finally got it done. Got it cleaned up really nice. Used the Aluma-Bright, wash it down after it's all welded and everything. This was some step material that he actually had in the rack, designed for just this right here, for aluminum rungs, making ladders. I still need to drill 2 holes in the bottom. That's where it's going to sit on the floor. But we have a couple tabs up here at the top. This will get bolted into the wall where it's going, and that should hold it good. We got a couple flanges here at the top. That everything should work out pretty good. So I'll show you where this is going to be going, and this is going to allow us to get up to the top side right here of our office so that we can start using this space. It's going to be used for some of my storage. I'm going to put some light duty bins and shelves up there just to put things out of the way that need to get stored that's not down here on the floor. It's also going to be a work area for Abby. She would like us to build some kind of table so she can go up there and have a little creator space of herself up there. So she can have all that area up there. The ladder is going to go right in this spot, right in here. This was sort of like the best spot that I had left available. It'll be in front of this. This is the switch for the American pacemaker. So we'll be able to come right in here behind that switch. The disconnect is over here for the machine, so it won't be blocking the disconnect. So it's going to be sitting right there on the wall. Probably end up moving my decimal equivalent chart, but pretty excited to finally get the ladder so that we can easily get up and down. I am planning on making some handrails to go around the side there too. Probably going to try to do it as simple as possible. Joe was telling me that MasterCar has these pipe pieces that you can buy, and you get your pipe, you cut them to length, you stick them into all these little parts, and you set screws to hold it all together. They got flanges so that it's just kind of like a quick assembly, so we can put us a nice easy handrail up there to so nobody falls off the edge of it. So I'm going to get this in here and start getting it installed, and once we get it set up, I'll show you what it looks like whenever we get it bolted to the wall. So we got the 2 holes drilled in the bottom there. We're going to be using these Tapcon concrete screws to support the bottom. So that's all we needed to do. So I'll go ahead and get it unclamped. We'll walk it around there, and I'm going to see if this thing is going to fit. All right, guys, I got the new ladder installed, and it's working great. So down here on the base, we've got 2 of the concrete screws holding the base into place. And then up here at the top, those 2 angled tabs that are welded on, those are lagged into the wall. There is plywood behind the drywall here. This whole wall is plywood, so it's screwed into that with those 3/8 lags. And if I come up here, we'll come on up to the top. You guys can see it up here. We've got the flange plates here on the handrails bolted down with 8 lags up there. So we've got 12 screws total holding the ladder up, and I do have we're going to make another little modification right here to kind of protect the air pipe and the electrical cord. We're going to make like sort of like a little ramp, a little shallow step that's going to go over that, and also go down onto the wall there to kind of protect the wall from our feet kicking it as we go up. One of the things that I actually kind of overlooked whenever I was giving Joe the dimensions of this
is how far that top rung was to the wall, or how close it was to the wall. Didn't realize that we should have brought it out, you know, even another maybe 3 inches or so, but it's going to work fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just your toes kind of kick the wall as you're going up. But the ladder looks good. I got it the way I want. I didn't want it to stick out past this this box right here to kind of keep this little alleyway open. I think it's going to work out really good for getting up top to access our storage up there. All right, now we're up on the top. You guys can kind of get a overview shot of the entire shop as it looks from up here. As I mentioned before, we're going to be putting some handrails. I'm going to build some handrails myself. So we'll have handrails all the way around this top area up here to protect anybody from falling off out here. So this is what the top of the office area looks like. A lot of real estate that is not being used. That's why this is going to end up being a couple of things. I'm going to get some shelves to go along the wall right here to just store random things on. I also want to put some hardware bins up here too, like right along the wall, for things like hardware, bolts, washers, whatever. Put along here. We're going to build us a nice sized table that's going to sit probably in this general area underneath the skylight. This is going to be Abby's creator space up here. She wants to be able to come in and do whatever, you know, drawing, painting, making things, or whatever she wants to do. And she'll have a nice area up here on top of the office to do that. There's a lot of space up there. It's not really being used. So we're excited to be able to add this space to the shop here. We'll get the handrails up to make it safe. We're gonna get us some shelves up here. See, I've just got some random stuff that I've kind of piled in here like everybody has, but I want it to look professional and have some shelves up here that we can put things on and get them out, get them off the floor, and make it look a little more presentable too. All right, so really happy that we finally got the ladder done. Joe and the guys around at the welding shop, they did a good job on that, and excited to finally see that done. I ended up having my first little crash on the CNC machine, on the Milltronics. Luckily it wasn't real bad, and it's an easily replaceable part, which is what I'm working on right now. So I wanted to show this to you guys. It was this guy right here that I broke. This is one of the tool pockets. It was actually tool pocket number 8. That's the piece that broke. So it's a molded plastic. It's got a couple bushings in there and this metal tab on the bottom. Got the side panel off the machine here, so we get in there and access it to replace it. So this is it right there. This guy. I was doing a tool change, and I can't recall exactly what I did or what I did wrong, but it actually had a tool in the spindle. And so when it came over here to grab tool 8, it released and dropped the tool, dropped down in there. Luckily it was just a little collet with the a center drill in it. So it wasn't any kind of major tool. It didn't hit anything. I got real lucky because it hit sort of the back of the table here and then fell down into the bed. So anyway, I've got we got the new part here from Milltronics. It should be a very simple bolt-in deal. It's just got 2 bolts that hold it in. And you see those guys with the white paint on them. And it looks like there's a couple dowel pins in there, and that's what lines it. So I'm going to unbolt that and put that in there. Hopefully that'll be the fix. And I wanted to show this to you. This is a new light that I just got from KBC Tools. And I believe it's called the Uberlight Flex. Pretty neat. This one's clamp on, so you can clamp in a lot of different places on different machines. It's completely flexible, so you can kind of move this thing around and position it where you want. The head where the light is rotates. It's got about 270 degree rotation there. And the other cool thing about it, you got 2 buttons on the back right here. You've got 3 different colors and 3 brightnesses. So right now we're in the warm. Then you have the, I don't know what that one would be called, cool, and a more cold. And this lighting right here, that's what seems to be on all the machine tools now, like these lights right there. So that's a good example. These are good lights for getting in here running the machine, but not so good for filmmaking. When you're trying to video stuff, this color of light right here, that blue light, puts a lot of glare into the shot. What I have found that I always liked, what's worked really well, like in the old shop, is, let's see, that's the brightness, that warm light. You want the warm light for good photos, for good videos. A mixture of them doesn't hurt at all, but you definitely want some of this warm light for your video making and taking good pictures. So, you say you got three brightnesses on this. So I'm using it over here now so I could get in there because it was dark in here, so we can get in there and change that. I forgot, that's the box right there. I just pulled it out and hooked it up. So if you guys want to check one of these out, go over to KBC Tools and look up the Uberlight Flex. They have also got a model with a base that sits like on a desk or, you know, a bench or something like that too. So they got it in 2 configurations. Plugs in using a USB adapter. So anyway, get this swapped out. I just wanted to share with you guys my first major CNC crash. Luckily it wasn't any worse than that guy right there. Getting the bolts out now. Pretty tight on there. I guess I'm gonna have to get a little, oh, there it goes. Just tight on those pins there. All right, we got the pocket pressed on there. There's a metal tab there that goes down also. I think that's just helps support it. And then just a couple of the bolts that we took out. All right, that should be it. Get the Allen wrench and tighten those bolts up. We should be good to go. Ratchet's the way to go on this. A lot easier. I think that's going to be good right there. Feels nice and tight. All right, we got our carousel fixed back up now. We can put our tool in the pocket number 8. All right, last thing that we want to do, because we moved it manually over here on the controller. See if we can hit this button here. So we need to make sure we home it now. Okay, it should be homed. So after we homed the carousel and I was backing out, I noticed a red box there, a warning box that said the machine assumes the spindle has no tool in the spindle at all. So remove that tool, which I did. And I think that was one of the problems that I had when I broke the thing to begin with. So I'm just going to go to tool number 3. Now it's going to go grab tool 3, which is sitting right out here. Program stop encounter. If there is a tool in the spindle, it will be dropped. So that's what I did to break the tool pocket to begin with. Press cycle start to begin. Okay, well I messed up. I meant to grab tool number 2. So instead I grabbed tool number 3, but we're all good now. So all we got to do is just do a, let's see, tool 2 M6 run, cycle start. It'll put that one away. Grab tool 3, which is sitting right out here. Now all we got to do is just install that in the spindle using That guy right there. All right, we're back on track. I'll get that tool in there and get our door back on there, and we should be ready to roll.
I'm set up in the Milltronics here. I'm doing another test piece. I'm trying a drill and tap cycle on here on just a test block. So I'm trying to learn some more on the conversational. So I'm right in the middle of the drilling cycle now. Thought I'd give you guys a little video of this and see how it does. I've made an adjustment on how deep it goes in the peg cycle to try to eliminate the stringy chips coming up and making a helicopter. My first depth is still a little too deep. I did spot drill all the hole locations first though, by the way. I just didn't get any video of that. It went so fast. So we spot faced it, we're drilling a hole. This is going to be for half 13, so that's a 27/64 drill bit. And then we're going to be using the same tool that I use for a spot face. It's actually a mill drill. I'm going to use that for chamfering. So after we drill the holes, we'll use that same tool that we spot faced with to chamfer the hole. And that's where I'm going to have to do, I'll have to do one and look at it and see. We may have to modify the depth, because I don't know if I have that set right yet. But after the chamfer, we'll go in there with a half 13 tap and rigid tap. See a total of 18 holes in this test block, by the way. That's just what worked out as a good pattern. All right, I'm stopping this manually with my feed hold because for one, I need to move my camera position where I've got it mounted up here on the spindle. It might run into the carousel whenever it does the tool change. But it looks like our drilling is just fine. I'll have to work on my feed rates and make sure I get those a little bit more refined. But we'll work on the chamfer next. All right, we're on our chamfer cycle here now. I ran a few holes to make sure that it was cutting right. So we're going to go ahead and carry on with it. I went ahead and turned the coolant off so that we could actually see this. All right, so I've already started the tapping cycle. We've actually got 4 holes tapped, and I wanted to make sure that everything was right before I get the camera set up in here, but it's doing really good. So we're tapping all the way through. This block is 1 3/4 thick, so I've got it set to 2 1/8, a negative depth there. So it's just power tapping all the way through and coming back out. We are running the flood coolant. It's working really good, so I'm gonna shut up and so you guys can see the rest of this tapping cycle, okay? There we go, man. That was a successful practice run. Had some drilling. Let's see, spot drilling, chamfering, and tapping. That is so cool. Definitely a lot easier than doing it by hand, and easier than doing it in the manual milling machine.